Welcome back, folks. Apparently, we were back on live. This is usually my buddy Carl's spot, so he's used to being over here. That's my claim to fame. Right? So I blame it on Carl. But we're here talking basketball now, and I'm going to do to him what you know he does to me. So I'll pass over to you, Carl, to introduce our guest.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to the show. If you guys are just tuned in for the first time, we've had an opportunity to see listen to some cricket, and now we're going into basketball. But before we do that, I just want to mention to you, Paul, I've actually had the opportunity to talk to my main man Bob about a champion horse.
Okay.
And I have the statistics for you.
Wow.
So I'm going to let the general public know what Really Uptown is made about. It's all about.
Oh,
okay?
you've come across the Really Uptown? That's
yes,
impressive.
I have.
So you've given up on Town Hall?
No, I actually haven't given up, but I have some news for you.
I
have some news for you.
Oh, news. I thought you were bringing stats
And
on
I'm going to let you know the news right now because there's a lot of talk about Expectation being the champion horse and the best thing that ever happened to the British Virgin Islands. As far as horse racing.
There's no talk. ACT is the only horse that's won 19 consecutive races.
Okay, but here's this. ACT has never won or has never broken a track record. Really Uptown has broken 3.
ACT won 141 and 2/5.
In the shortest space of time, Really Uptown has only run about 8 races
ACT did break a track record.
No, he didn't. He never broken a track record.
Well, ACT is a bit like Viv Richards. He doesn't need to
and again, Expectation
to win. Wants to win.
The thing with Expectation, he has met a lot of the same horses over and over that he has beaten. Compared to Really Uptown,
can I interrupt?
Who has? Not yet.
Can we call Carl an Expectation hater here? Is that okay?
No, I'm not.
Because it sounds very negative about
No, but I'm going to give you some stats real quick.
Okay. Oh, stats and ACT.
Stats on Really Uptown.
Stats and things that ACT never did. Go ahead.
Exactly. Good. Now, Uptown is 7 years old. You're familiar with that.
And ACT is like 16. Are you aware of that?
And he's a Gildan. Okay. The mother is Real Can, a Californian bred horse. Really Uptown has never lost a race in the BVI.
Right.
I'm just letting you know.
7 races.
Never lost a race in the BVI. The only time he lost, the only 2 races he lost, I guess you know who they were. Since you're so much in.
One must have been Budweiser.
And?
Slevin was the other one?
No.
Who was the other one?
Broken Home. But he has 3 track records. 1 in Tortola in a 6 furlong, 119, 2 in St. Croix, 1 in a mile and an 8. That time was 148 and 4 in 11 seconds, and 1 in the 7.5 furlong as 129 flat. Out of the last 8 starts, 2 of them on St. Croix were track records. Okay? He ran in St. Croix at 2 times at different distances, 7 furlong and 8 furlong, and both distances were track records.
Right.
Okay. Out of the 3 lost, like I said, 1 was in St. Thomas, 6 furlong, the Broken Home. The second one was the Political Reporter, not Johan, which was 170. Yeah. The third loss was the Bud White. Yes, he did. Now again, 8 races, 8 wins, 2 losses. A true champion, shortest space of time.
Right. As we move on to basketball.
Now before we go to basketball, we have a little bit of bowling.
Could I just quickly say that there was never a debate on Really Uptown. The debate was between Really Uptown and Town Hall. You're comparing 2 horses both to the same stable, so I'm not quite too sure.
Yeah,
what the point is.
Moving
on. They're both in the same stable.
Okay, moving on.
So you're same stable.
Moving
it's
on.
like saying Jamaica
We have a little bit of bowling.
Jamaica still wins.
we have a little bit of bowling. We have a little bit of bowling. So I just wanna mention, folks, about
and then basketball. These 2 guys can get to talk.
There was a tournament last weekend at the Save the Seeds Center.
And I predicted that Violet De Castro was going to win in the ladies, and she did. I want to say that from the start.
And in the tournament, there were a couple of countries that were present: St. Croix, Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, and Tortola. Yes, Violet, we want to congratulate her for being the female winner against all the different categories. She won just about every category in the female. Yeah. And I want to congratulate my man from St. Croix who won the overall tournament. He beat out the Puerto Ricans, which are semi-pros or pros.
Close.
Yes. So I think we have some clips on that. I want to thank the Foys, Brenda and Ronaldo Foy, for putting on such a tournament. It's something that they were planning for a long time ago. So I want to, congratulate them on that. And it was real nice, Paul. I was excited when I saw the bowling that you were supposed to be there.
Here we go.
Paul was actually supposed to be there. Every time there's a competition between the both of us, he never shows up. Folks, I just want you to know that, okay?
Yeah, well, Puerto Rico came second, third, and fourth. You didn't mention that, but I thought I'd mention as I have the results.
Okay, good, and I never heard you mention
and only one local person defeated Violet. He bowled 205 and Violet bowled 189.
And he is?
I think it's Kevin or his name.
Kylie Castro.
Kyle.
Kylie Castro.
Yeah.
Yes,
And he came tired. He came there tired.
And he actually did a real good job because from an interview with him, he hadn't been bowling as often as the rest of them. So he came in, and he
natural
did,
talent.
He did,
That's what they call natural talent.
Also, you have to thank Ronaldo. They placed Ronaldo placed in the top 15, I guess, along with Thomas Richardson.
Who?
And the guy who was here, Ronaldo Foy, the president. He also placed in the top 15.
No, he didn't. Kyle was 17th.
No, Kyle was 12th.
Kyle was 12th. Violet was 17th. Overall. Violet was 18th.
18th overall.
Yeah.
And Ronaldo beat Violet.
No, only one person beat Violet from the BVI. That's Kyle.
We're not going to debate this, guys.
I'm telling you.
We're going to go right into basketball right now, and we'll get back into this.
I'll tell you what, though. Kyle reminds me of the Malone's natural talent.
On that note, folks, I want to introduce you to our guest. We have Brian Bashbouli.
And Keith 88 Malone.
Brian Bashbouli is the president of the BD Basketball. I think we have some BD Basketball that's supposed to be starting. And of course, we have our vice president of the Basketball Federation.
Yes.
What's his name?
Keith 88 Malone.
Okay, welcome
to the show.
Good night, guys. Good night. Glad to be here.
No, and before I start with you, my man on BD, I just wanted to mention to my vice president.
Okay.
There's a lot that's going on in basketball. You know, there's a short season. We have a short season this year. There's a tournament that's supposed to be going on. So there's a lot that he would like to get out. I don't know if you have enough time to do it. But before you get a chance, 88, I just wanted to mention that I think you have also had something that you wanted to mention.
Yeah, BD Basketball.
Go ahead.
Begin to start March 22nd. Here I go. September.
You want to start September, otherwise you
Yes, big basketball starts when?
The 22nd, that's the deadline for the rosters, and we're going to start exactly when school closes. That's going to be the 28th of March.
28th of March?
Yeah, and we got 2 weeks to cram in everything.
Oh, so you also have a short league?
Yeah, we're going to be
short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
So are you guys gonna take a day off for the Queen's baton relay and take part in that? Or?
Of course. You have to also
good answer, Bash.
Of course, that is a must.
But you know when you're dealing with this guy, you have to be sharp because he's swinging some fastball lately. Anyhow, Mo, tell us what's going on.
Well, as we all mentioned about basketball, we came up with a theme, short and sweet, or back on our feet, short and sweet, 2014 Basketball Federation League. Short and sweet because there's so much going on in basketball. In July, the CBC tournament, so we've decided to make it a short league. However, there are some things that I want to point out in terms of rosters. They are out there. If you don't have those rosters, you need to get in touch with a federation member because the deadline is the 21st. In the league, we want to make sure that everyone understand that it's going to be a zero tolerance league. We're just not going to stand for no nonsense. Let's put it that way. Teams have to show up for match path. Teams must be in uniform. And one of the things that we're going to stress is that coaches, they come dress the path.
No more shorts, no more shorts and
no,
slippers,
no
no
shorts.
t-shirts, no t-shirts.
No
so
short and
The good old
sneakers.
days is shorts and
Yes.
slippers. is
Yeah,
just-
that's
it's
out the
gone.
door.
It's gone.
but Keith, are you guys going to have that in writing and get it out to the teams long in advance?
Well, we had a meeting actually on Wednesday, this Wednesday, and we brought it across to the coaches. I think it's been well accepted. So as a federation, we're going to put a lot of that stuff in writing. Eventually, it probably can become part of our constitution.
Yeah, I was going to say, having taught for 7 years, the one thing I've learned about the youngsters is that they will do as much as you allow them to do.
Of course.
So it's really important to get the rules out to them in writing, in the hands of their coaches, and have it read to them before the league begins, and not at the opening ceremony, long beforehand. They have to know these things. So when something comes up, and the people who break the rules more often than not, I will tell you, are the coaches and not the players. The coaches are the ones who are going to argue and say, oh, well, we didn't know about that. No, you're bringing in new rules. So it's vitally important. But the thing is, once you set the tone before the league starts, 88, and then the law is on your side. And, then you can hand down with the law. And it's important in the early to be strict and not to bend. I remember, back to horse racing again, that in the Bud White incident in the second race of Triple Crown, year before last, Bud White was brought in by St. Thomas in St. Croix, and the Crucians let him in.
Yeah,
Right. The point is that it was on paper that they shouldn't do that, but unfortunately the challenge is that it wasn't enforced. So although everybody knew about it, it wasn't brought to them and handed to them beforehand. So that's the point I'm making. I use it as a scenario. We're not going back into horse racing now, but as a scenario that I just think it's so important, and just something that from my own experience that I've learned through teaching and what have you. It's key to get the point
That's
across.
very well said, Paul, and I think that's the reason why our president or vice president is here trying to get that information out.
I'm reiterating.
That's good, but I think he has a lot more that he wants to reiterate, like you.
Go ahead, 88. Continue to
So those
reiterate. You see why it's so good to have Carl here?
Well,
We missed you in the last segment.
one of the things that we probably like to get out there for those coaches who was unable to make it to the meeting, that for the junior division, we have moved the age back to 19 and under. Can be making 20 in that particular year. I think it opens up that competition for a bit more in the junior division. So we're looking forward. We are looking forward also to partnership with JTV and other
Sponsors
TV
over
networks
there.
to really have the game broadcast, and if not so, have some live show, some call-in show like we are doing here, so that we can get players of the week. They're going to be post-game interviews with coaches and players. So we're really looking to really make it interesting.
I think what you need to let them know too of the amount of teams that are playing in the league, or the amount of A-League teams.
Well, at present, last year there was 12 teams, and we were trying to keep it at 12 teams as a cap. 10 teams to the junior division, keeping that as a cap. There is some discussion come up in terms about new teams, and there's some criteria that the federation will set or have set in terms of new teams being able to come in. It's kind of a lengthy, so I wouldn't go into
Right.
it, but
But I'm just saying, having heard it for the first time, again, I'll very quickly, Carl, in 30 seconds, just say, I agree with that, because the more teams that you have, it waters the league down and it gets dragged out. If people want to qualify to get into that league, let's say, let them play in a lower league and they're going to qualify to get up there. Even if they're that good, let them prove themselves. Let there be a certain number of top teams, and let them have to work to get up there.
Yeah.
It makes the league so much better and such a stronger league. Right.
Bash, anything that you wanted to add again?
Well,
How many teams are you expecting? I know it's a district, so you're going for the 9 districts.
yeah, we're going for all districts, everybody that
How
that
is the
registered.
league going to be played? How are you going to summary that?
well,
Is a win knockout or whatever?
No,
Because your
we-
league is going to be short and sweet.
no, we the more it's developmental, so the more games they get to play, better for them.
And how
So-
often are your games going to be played?
It's gonna be every day. Once school closes, we goes every day.
And are
But
you-
right now we are wrapping up the clinics which is going to be on Saturday at the multipurpose complex from 10 to 12. And also we are doing registration there. So,
So, anything new that you adding this year? Or
oh,
basically?
definitely we have had a new age group, which is the 5 to 7, introducing them to basketball, introduction to basketball, the 5 to 7 year old.
Okay, we had a text come in. If I can just quickly read that, and I agree with you. Development is different. I mean, they need to play more. It's different. The seniors have already learned to play. Those guys are learning. But the text came in. We'll just read it for you. It says, "Isn't 19 and under a bit too high for juniors?" It says, "Are you going to have children playing against adults?"
Well, it's not a matter of children playing against adults. What we look at is there is certain national tournament that is under 15.
we'd have to qualify for.
There are under 17, and then there are under 19 national team. So good thing we have BD right here
Yeah.
with us. He has that age group for children.
For children,
to play under.
we
Yeah.
carry 11 to 13, 14 to 16, so they already played.
Right.
Yeah,
So
league.
in the league, there must be over a certain age to play. You're saying, or I'm not following.
I think once they qualify and they can play up in the B division, based on coming out of the BD basketball
Yeah.
league, you can tell who should be, who could qualify.
Right. But 88, you mentioned on the 19. Explain what that was. What you were saying there.
Well, no, under 19 meaning you can't be making 20 in that year and play in the junior division.
Or in the junior division.
junior.
So they have. So then it's not men playing against boys at all. Then it's,
No,
it's,
no, no.
in fact they can't play in the juniors if they're
If they're over 20.
if they're over 20.
Okay, well, a good question too, but what we are trying to do too is we are behind in basketball. BVI are behind in basketball because we start late. The children start to play late. That's why we bring in these houses BD basketball that the children could start earlier. So by the time they reach 16 and so
They should have already developed.
Yeah. So when our children reach 15, 16, they supposed to be strong enough to, you know what I mean, to go up against a 18 or 19-year-old in the junior division. Plus we have the leagues already set for them.
So
you know.
the caller is concerned about a 16-year-old playing against a 19-year-old, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And Paul, you have to look at it too. If opportunities of getting scholarships, kids are coming up to school around the age of 16, 17, 18. If at that time they fully will understand the sport, it's easier for them to get scholarships and understand the role they have to play when they go, because these are the age that the schools are trying to recruit from.
Well, Carl, if memory serves me right, both LeBron James and Kobe Bryant went to the NBA at 17.
There you go.
So
It brings us up to
Say no
to
more.
par.
Yeah.
Now, again, I think my president wanted to mention it's a no-nonsense league this year. It's going to be short and sweet. So it's going to be a lot of games as the same way. We're trying to get most of the games out because we know this is going to be a 60th year of a festival. So we know the gym might be full with all kind of different events and activities.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that, we get what we need to get done early. And make sure that it's more exciting. So we want the fans to come back out. We want the general public to come back out. We want to assure you that the league is going to be under control this year. Basically, from a new standpoint, we have a lot of new faces in the association. And if you know 88,
It's going to be
well, I'm
fantastic.
gonna say, let's get 88 back in here because I like some of the ideas he had about promos for fans and stuff like that. Tell us a bit more about that, 88.
Well, we're going to have halftime shows. We're going to be doing, 3-point shootout. You can win something. We're looking at a major sponsor. We haven't quite wrapped it up as yet, so I wouldn't go on air and say who they are. But we're looking to
And
some
we're still
halftime.
looking.
Yeah,
We're still
well,
looking
of
for
course.
those
And you're going to set rules. Those guys like Federer who won prizes in that would take part in this one, right?
We might make it a half-court shot, but the whole idea is, we're looking to get basketball as a family-based type sport where you can really come out and really enjoy basketball. And, we're doing a lot of things to improve our coaches, our players, our referees. So the game be played at a high level. So they're going to be camps for referees. They're going to be camps for coaches and camps for players.
Any thoughts of having maybe a bar upstairs and downstairs, or just having the bar downstairs?
Downstairs.
One thing.
It's a thought. It's a thought.
Experience.
Yeah, it's a thought.
One thing I think my vice president wanted to mention too is that we're trying to qualify coaches in at grades in order to come out and coach teams. You
Okay.
have to participate. You
I'm
have
going
to
to cut you. Yes,
Yes,
go
go
one
ahead.
at a time.
We
It says,
like
says
to
my
do that.
concern is that you're going to have 12 and 13-year-olds playing against 18 and 19-year-olds. Is that really development? Just a concern. Is that true? Was he correct me?
Well,
if he's wrong.
if you believe your child is able to play with the big boys, then you enter him. But you have leagues
That he can play.
That he
Yeah.
can play.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
So a 13-year-old can, but there's a league he can play in.
Yeah.
you can, because
If he's good enough.
I'm developing 2-point guard and I start them off, and they played in the junior division last year and they were 12 years old.
There you go.
So I start them off young up thing. They're not going to get that much playing time, but them starting to feel and
Right. Now, we're in the time near the clock, apparently, the producer is telling me. So, let's start with you, Bash. Biddy Basketball, tell us what we need to know.
Well, our 4th annual District King League going to jump off at March 28th. Multi-purpose complex.
So, March 28th.
Yeah, we have, we start the age group. We have the introduction, 5 to 7. We have 8 to 10, 11 to 13, 14 to 16. So there where your 11 to 13, them
Should
get
be.
to play. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. 88, National League, CBC.
Hey, basketball in the BVI is back on its feet. It's short and sweet. It's going to be fantastic, and we expect the fans to come out there and be just that. CBC, our national team is going to be representing. Tryouts for that starts on the 10th of this month. But I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be really great basketball this year, and I really expect fans to come out and support.
Okay, Carl, answers do not discriminate against her husband. So leave Federer alone. So any close,
I like the pass back.
you normally leave the final words to me, so I will leave the final words to you. I hope you talk. What do you have nice to say about Federer?
Folks, we just want to thank you guys if you tuned in early and you've watched the show. We'd like to continue you guys to watch the show. We're still looking for sponsors. If you want to sponsor the show, the spots are still available. We'd like to thank all the viewers for watching, and all those like Adam who's calling in. I'm not the one that made a statement. Paul did.
I thought it was
So on that
Blame it
note,
on somebody.
folks, once again,
Until next week, good sports, Sergio.
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.